What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica. Happy Monday. We are down here to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville and Real Housewives of Potomac. So we're going to do it in order since Love and Marriage Huntsville came on first. Yes, come on, Jasmine. Yes, bad. I can't take this. Yes. Boy, I'm about to go insane. Okay. I need you. Hope everybody had a good weekend. And it was super duper hot. Saturday it was so hot I was like uncomfortable. I do not like being in heat that is just like stagnant, like that is no air going. I don't like to feel like I'm in a sauna like that, like a dry sauna. I don't like that. So yeah, I wasn't cool with that. Anyway, so Love and Marriage Huntsville came on. I watched it twice. I watched it again this morning so I can take notes while I was getting ready. Overall, the episode was pretty good. The part that like really made me, did y'all watch Put a Ring on It? Oh my god, that was a mess. Anyways, that, you know, I don't even review that, but baby, that was a mess. Maybe we'll talk about that on a trending topic video, because that was a mess. It was a mess. If y'all follow me on Twitter, I was talking about it. Y'all see the shows that I talk about that I don't review. But anyways, so let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let the diva know you stopped by, and then we will talk about it. Get down in the comments. You know what we do. You know what the drill is. So I took a lot of notes. I was writing furiously because I was getting ready at the same time, trying to brush teeth and take notes and wash face and take notes. And okay, anyway, so let's talk about it. All right, so here, okay. So we start off with Kimmy, Kiowa, and Zave. I assume his name is Xavier. I don't know. I just assume that that's his name. It's the only name that I can think of that they're shortening like that is Xavier. Anyways, so Kimmy she doesn't seem uncomfortable. She seems like she has it together. She just basically lets Kiowa and Zave know. First, she does mention that Maurice left her there, and she says, but what he would want to say is this. And so she just basically says they want to support the ideas for Maurice Jr.'s upbringing, and we're all still family. And then in Kimmy's interview, she says that it's his fault. He left me. He abandoned me. You got to listen to the words that people use when they talk. It's very important. It's really important. And sometimes people don't even realize that the words that they use, sometimes they do it intentionally. And I feel like Kimmy did that intentionally. She used the word abandoned intentionally. She says that we want to be as a family, as one team, as a unit during a child's formative years. He needs to know that we're all together in this and we're all a team for him. She talked about the vaping, bringing the vaping up at the brunch, and she was like, you know, I didn't know anything about it, so I was caught off guard with it, which I still don't think was cool. But she says I'll tell her about the vaping, but I won't tell her about the girlfriend in Michigan. All right, so Destiny and LaTisha go out to the car dealership, and Tisha's wig, I want her to get her wig together so she can figure out how to make it go to the side. I was like, girl, if you swing that damn wig one more time, you're going to break your damn neck. A little bit. Get your wig together. I don't know what is Tisha. Is that Tisha's regular personality? Like the way she was acting at Mel's house, the way she was acting at the car dealership. I don't know. I was like, is that the way she normally acts? Okay, girl. She says, they said they're looking for a hot girl summer car. Destiny lets Tisha know that she's no longer married. And she was like, oh no. She was like, what? And then Tisha in her interview says, you know, it's a divorce pandemic going on in our group. You know, you got Mel and Martell, which we already saw that coming. You notice that Tisha does a lot. She shades a lot in her. And it's like, she shades a lot in her interview. And so they're talking about the girls in Houston, how they went to Houston, and the girls in Houston don't care about your man if you have a man. And she was like, girl, yeah, I heard Houston is like ATL. on steroids. I remember when I first moved to Atlanta, and guys would tell me that women in the grocery store would offer to take them home and cook for them, like auditioning for the role of wife, like right then and there. They said that the women in Atlanta are ultra desperate for cisgender heterosexual black men. Like, they're desperate for them, and they come very far and few between. So of course men know that, and they use that to their advantage. But the women are like scavengers for some dick. It's really sad, but I heard that that's what it is. And apparently it was 13 to 1, right? 13 women to one man. And that one man, you don't know if he's down low, you don't know if he's gay, you don't know if he's married, you don't know anything. So I hear that the women in Atlanta were super duper desperate. And then I guess according to Tisha, the girls in Houston are desperate too, because Tisha is making it seem like these girls were talking to Marceau at the little shindig, and she says, well, Destiny, in her interview, she says, well, we all have heard the rumors about the kids, and we've all heard the rumors about the kids, and I hope it wasn't him flirting and not the women actually doing the flirting with him. So that's what she said. So Destiny calls and invites them to Taco Tuesday, and Destiny lets Mel invites them to Taco Tuesday and Destiny lets Tisha know that she's has a little problem with Mel, because Mel brought this girl Tiffany, and she was like, who is Tiffany, girl? Who is Tiffany? Who is Tiffany, girl? Tisha is crazy. So she says, you got a problem with Mel because of Tiffany, and she'll talk to her about it. And she was like, what, Tiffany who? And she's like, girl, she brought me some ice cold tea. If Destiny said that Tiffany brought her some ice cold tea with icicles on it one more time, I was like, girl, we get it. First of all, we'll get to that, because first of all, Destiny, I was just laying there this morning. I was like, I was laying there this morning. I was like, I gotta review. I gotta rewatch Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I was just thinking about all the women and the men. And I was like, I don't think there's a character on this show that I particularly like outside of Kimmy. Like, I thought about, I don't even like Destiny. I don't like Tiffany either. Tiffany, you just 3 episodes in? I don't like your big forehead ass. I don't. I'm just gonna say it. And you and your oof of a husband, I don't know. I don't like your ass either. Because you came in there being super duper messy, but it wasn't tea. It wasn't tea. That was not tea. That was like, girl, I remember where I met you, but what you remembered was some fucked up shit. And then you wanna like slide that to the side by saying that you're blunt and transparent. So because you're blunt and transparent, does that mean that you have zero control over your mouth? Is that what that means? Because y'all be saying shit to excuse yourself out of doing some bullshit, and that shit be sounding dumb as shit. It does. You're blunt and transparent, so that's why you told Destiny what you told her at her party. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense at all. LaTisha and Marceau go to Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis like, we're gonna have a nice talk. Marceau was looking like, what the fuck is this? This is a therapy session. Oh, you didn't know? No, I did not know. If she told me, I would not have come. It's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. He said, remember you said that shit too. Remember you said, oh, you're not going to use that on me. He's going to use it on you. Trust me. He's going to use it on you, because there's a lot of shit that he's done and didn't get permission to do. We ain't heard about it yet. He's obviously paying somebody off to shut their damn mouth, which is what you're supposed to do. Anyway, why are we here to fix something that's not broken? You haven't even asked your wife why you're here. You trying to look at me, asking me, ask your wife why you're here. I want to ask her. Well, start talking about work-life balance and how they're not spending a lot of time together and all this stuff. Dr. Francis says, what does that sound like that she said to you? Sounds like to me that she does not know how to deal with the stress of everyday life. What am I asking for? What is she asking for? Stress. He says she's asking for a stress-free path to greatness. He says other women do what you do, right? And then he says, you see these calluses on my hand or blisters on my hand? She was like, I'm not saying that you don't work hard. She's like, he says, my life is constant stress. My life is constant stress. And he's like, well, do you talk to your wife? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk to my wife about my stress. I'm not going to talk to my kids about my bills. And it's so funny how he says that, because what will happen is he'll use cheating as an excuse to say, I did not have an outlet to share how I felt about the stresses of my life. Right? One of the reasons is that my wife doesn't listen. So all this excuse, I'm getting ready to get mad, because I felt like Marceau was in this meeting and he was manipulating the situation in order to just get out of there. Like, what do I need to say and do to get myself out of this uncomfortable situation where I am being held accountable for my actions? Be agreeable, even though after you said, I would not have showed up here if I known it was therapy. But when you get in therapy, now you're agreeable, you're forthcoming, you're accommodating. What do you need, LaTisha? Okay. And then what you need? Date night? What do you need? So she says, he says, you're a superwoman. She's like, I went to college. I have goals too. I put them on hold. And then she says, I have to do everything on my own. So basically, LaTisha is telling us that in addition to furthering her education and getting her degrees, she has to take care of the household too, and he doesn't contribute to that at all. I thought it was weird that she says that you spend money on yourself and the money that I spend is on me and the kids. It's like, it's so sad, because women want to live in a situation where a lot of women want to live in a situation where the man is the breadwinner and he is the sole breadwinner. And this is LaTisha's situation. He's the sole breadwinner, right? However, in the sole breadwinner ideology and what this misogynistic, chauvinistic template that Marceau and his brother operate from is that, okay, I'm going to provide everything for you. You are going to take care of me and our children and this home. Now, I don't know what they agreed to at the beginning of the marriage, but she said she became a stay-at-home mom because her 9-to-5 was conflicting with the duties of motherhood. So she had to stop one job and just solely do the job of being a mother and managing the household. So he says, I've made a home for you and I've elevated your ability to complain. I felt like that was really fucked up to say. I felt like it was like, I've made you so comfortable that you're just complaining about shit. You're complaining about shit that you really don't have room to complain about, because I make the money in here and you're not. What do you really have to complain about? Because you don't have to really do nothing. Money is not an issue. Or he flips it and says, you need to work on your spending. And she says, well, you spend more than me. And see, what happens is the person always feels ganged up on when they are the core of the issues that's happening in the relationship. If you know that the way that you're acting is causing conflict and stress in your marriage and in any of your relationships, then you can't flip it and try to make the other person the problem. It's you're the problem, and you cannot manipulate your way out of this situation. You have a therapist here, you have a wife here, you have a third party who can stand on the outside and listen. Like, nigga, you up here trying to manipulate your wife? Like, is that what you're doing? Like, that, Dr. Francis's face was like, what? Like I wonder if he thought, like, girl, how are you married to him? And she says, well, I spend money for the home. I spend money for the home. I spend money on myself, and I spend money on 3 kids. So it's like she's a single mother, but she has a man who is actually, paying for every single thing. I don't know where she's getting money from. I don't know what other businesses they have that she's running. I don't know anything about Tisha. And so, is your husband vulnerable with you? No, he's not. Right, he's not. And then when he cheats on you, that's going to be the excuse. Watch. He says, so what do you need for me to do? He's being agreeable and accommodating so he can get out of there. And he picks up his phone and he tells Siri to put date night in the phone. He thought he was doing something, baby. He thought he was doing something. He thought he got it. He thought he fixed it. He thought he sealed the deal by doing that, because Tisha did look happy that he was putting her as an appointment in his phone. Dr. Francis said, anything's important to me, I don't tell Siri. Siri is not in my business like that. They get outside and he tells her that what she said doesn't align with the facts. He does say that he feels like he was ganged up on, and she just ends up walking away. She's like, maybe we don't need to do this. He makes a joke like saying, I think I'm fixed and I don't need another appointment for another 15 years. He's not going to go there. A lot of men do not like to go to therapy because you have an outside person who does not know the dynamics and the ins and outs of your relationship and how you manipulate your way through your relationship. And so they could see it, and they can see what you're doing, and they're able to identify it. And if somebody's able to identify the bullshit that you're doing, you don't want to be held accountable, because in our society, men are not held accountable for the things that they do in their partnerships. It's always an excuse. Always an excuse. You wait, and hopefully we are never down here talking about it came out that Marceau was cheating on LaTisha. But I guarantee if it does happen, his excuse is going to be that he needed somebody to talk to, that he needs to be vulnerable, that, the stress of the house. It's going to be all of this. Like, it's going to be like the person was there as a stress reliever. Watch. Tiffany and Lewis, that's when Tiffany said that she's blunt and transparent. She says what you see is what you get, and that her mentioning that to Destiny was an honest mistake. That's what her husband, he adds to that. He was like, it was just an honest mistake, or what have you. Mel, at Mel's house, LaTisha is talking about Destiny, and she was like, she didn't tell me. I thought that if Destiny and I had a problem with each other, she would tell me first and not tell Tisha. She would have called me and told me. So I'm waiting for her to get here because I want to talk to her too. Kimmy shows up. Kimmy says, I don't have anything to say to Tiffany. I'm just here for the drinks and the food. Oh, LaTisha says that she recognizes and she knows Tiffany from the chambers of commerce. Okay. And maybe she can talk to Tiffany about her new business adventure. Destiny gets there. She's left at the door. She doesn't feel like it's a great welcome. They left her at the door. I thought that was kind of messed up too. She calls Melody. Melody goes and opens the door. She gets her stuff. She sits down. Mel wants to talk about it. Mel's like, what's up? I thought you said to Tisha that I had a problem, that you had a problem with me. She was like, girl, let me eat first because I don't want to be hangry. And she was like, I'm not upset with you, but we should talk in a private conversation. I will serve some ice cold tea. She says it again. And that was just my biggest thing. They cut it, so I didn't hear what Destiny explained. They cut her what she was talking about. I don't know if they cut it, or I don't know if she was just so vague in her issues that she had, that was it. I don't know what happened. Tiffany was like, well, I didn't bring anything. I didn't bring any tea. It wasn't tea. It was like, girl, I remember you from this, but what you remembered was some fucked up shit. But that wasn't tea. Destiny, do you not remember when Tiffany said, like, oh, girl, I like your outfit? And you were like, no, that wasn't me. It was another woman at this event. So it wasn't tea, and she kept saying it, and it was getting on my nerves. And I want to like Destiny, but she's getting on my nerves. She's getting on my nerves too. It's like, girl, we are all here. And that's what they did on Potomac. We're all here, and we're sharing, and we're having conversations, and you want to have some shit in private. You want to have shit in private, and the girl who brought the shit to you, just say it. Did you know that she was going to say some shit like that? No. Okay, well, that was kind of fucked up. That's all you had to say. Like, girl, why would you say something to me like that at the table? Like, get it out. Y'all are sitting at the table, and all parties involved are present. There's no time like the present to talk about it. Mel was like, you mad at me? You mad at me? And she was like, girl, and then she was being passive aggressive. What are you talking about, cold tea? Just speak. That's a I have a serious problem with people who speak in riddles. Just talk. Just speak plainly. It just really leaves little room for a misunderstanding or confusion. What happens when you speak in riddles? It's a manipulation. It allows the person to create whatever scenario they need to create in order to fill in the spaces and gaps that you intentionally created. And then when they come up with whatever idea in their mind, usually it is nothing to do with what the reason why you're mad. And so now there's this misunderstanding, and this person who thinks that you're mad at them because of this, this, and this, when you could have really just sat there and said it. That's something that frustrates me so much. That's one reason why I don't like to talk to straight men, like in romantic situations, because it's all this manipulation. It's all this talking in riddles. It's all this stuff that I don't have time to bring a decoder ring to our conversation. I don't. So can you just speak plainly so that we can get through the problem, we can identify the issue and possibly solve it? But if you're leaving gaps and I gotta fill in the gaps and I'm like clueless as to what the fuck the problem is, if you mad at Mel for bringing that girl, well, did you know she was gonna come here and say that? Mel could say, no, I didn't. And that would be the end of it. Why are you making it into something? I don't understand why. I feel like Destiny is making it, or like putting too much on it. Like, I don't know. And then how come you let so many days go by between your brunch and actually talking to Mel? Like that night, I would have called Mel like, girl, what the fuck did you bring that bitch to my brunch for? And she was talking that shit. Did you know she was going to say some shit like that? No, girl. I did not know. So now you're making it a big deal to where now you guys got to sit down and have a side conversation about Tiffany. It didn't matter. It wasn't relevant. So then what are you so mad about? What are you so mad that we have to have private side conversations if nothing was relevant, if the tea was cold? Because it wasn't no tea. It really wasn't any tea. It wasn't no tea. Maybe it was tea for people at the table, but it wasn't no tea. That was it of the episode. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Oh, Kiowa and Maurice, little Maurice, they have a conversation about growing up and stuff like that and whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't like Maurice either. Anyways, y'all take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.